MyMac Podcast 981, MacStock 2024.
And welcome everyone to the MyMac.com podcast, here live, sort of, at MacStock 2024. And for the 6 people that are going to come back and watch this video later, apologize about the video because with the bandwidth and Wi-Fi being very, very low here, that means that it's going to be almost impossible for either my video or Gaz's video to come out anything resembling good. But we are here at MacStock. I have got Gaz here. And hello, Mr. Gaz. It has been 3 weeks since I talked to you.
Something like that, yeah. I don't know where you've been. I mean, I've been.
Well, I had the wedding.
All the time. You just.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I mean, I've not been away, have I? Yes,
yeah.
Maybe I have.
You've been away.
Zoom. I tell you what, I have been away at Silverstone watching a new Apple film being produced. That's
a new Apple film.
Yep, F1, man, F1.
Well, aren't they covering F1 racing this year or next year?
No,
or is it just a rumor?
No. Brad Pitt is one of the lead roles in a film which has been actually, we saw the cars at Silverstone last year, and they've been going to some of the circuits and doing lots of ad hoc filming, and there was some big filming at Silverstone this year. They're actually on the grid, at the back of the grid at the start of the race. And then we thought, what's going to go on here? Because they wanted to film while the actual action's going on. And the cars went off on the parade lap, which is like a formation lap to get back into place.
Yeah.
And during that period, all the engineers, all the wheels and the tires that are on the grid, they get pushed off. And there was 2 cars left at the back of the grid. And obviously they then pushed them off at that point. But yeah, I saw Brad Pitt on the starting grid, and apparently Lewis Hamilton is a producer in the film, and they've shown the first trailer, and it looks quite good. And I've also seen a bit of detail on how they've been filming it. So perhaps in a week or so's time, when we're back to a normal mode, we could perhaps go through it. But it was quite interesting. But it's
were you able to get Brad Pitt to come onto the podcast in the future time, some future time?
Do you know? I didn't even think about asking him because I was so excited, especially when Lewis won the race. But what I got to say is, I didn't really get that close.
That close, yeah. It'd probably be like, no, you're on the MyMac podcast. Stay away.
Yeah.
We have guns. We're not afraid to use them.
He'd have had bouncers come and say, "Don't go there."
Very much so.
Don't go there.
Very much so. So here, I mean, I'm here at MacStock. It was kind of fun getting here. I had an interesting.
Right now, you say you're here. Can I ask a question?
Yeah.
Where is actually here? Because I can see a what looks like a couple of paintings behind you, and an open window. So are you currently at MacStock, or are you at the hotel, which is near MacStock?
Well, actually, MacStock is being held at the hotel that most people are staying at this year, the Holiday Inn Crystal Lake. Which is nice. It's a nice hotel. Everything that we've done so far with it has been top notch. The people that work here have been really, really helpful and friendly. The venue, because I mean today is kind of the deeper dive day. So the regular sessions will be tomorrow on Saturday and Sunday, and today they're doing like deeper dive sessions. And I know. When I first started trying to set all this up here, I was having a lot of problems. And Dave Hamilton from the Mac Geek Gab came over and was trying to
amazing.
Get me
I can't actually believe that guy, if I'm honest.
What, that Dave Hamilton's here?
No, that you were having problems.
Oh, really? Well, yeah, as hard as that is to believe, I was having audio problems. Even after we connected, I was having audio problems.
So did Dave, was he able to fix it for you, or were you just sitting there nodding your head, looking and not really understanding what he was doing?
He found the root cause. For whatever reason, Because, I mean,
Wasn't you, was it?
I record to Hindenburg, and then I send audio through to StreamYard. For whatever reason, the moment we engaged with Hindenburg, the device that sends audio to StreamYard, my voice and Farrago, just died. There was nothing going out. So I had to very quickly not use Hindenburg, bring up Audio Hijack, record all of the different tracks in Audio Hijack, and then use a separate loopback device with just the stuff that you need to hear. Like, I wasn't going to put your audio on there because then it's going to feed back to you, and that would drive you crazy.
Yep.
But even after I did all that, when we first started talking and we were just getting ready to start, and as soon as I engaged Audio Hijack, everything died. So I'm still not sure exactly what the problem is, why it's doing all this. But if you recall, and I'm using, the M1 MacBook Pro, which was going to be my original podcasting machine until it didn't work. So maybe it has something to do with that. I don't know. But I'm not going to worry about it. I got it working now, and I'm reasonably happy with it.
Now, I know the people in the video can see exactly where you're sat, but people on the podcast won't be able to see what I can see, which is those two pictures. And just below those two pictures, is that a fire alarm?
Let's find out. No, I'm not going to do that. Yes, it is a fire alarm, but I am not going to pull the fire alarm. I could.
You could.
Except
you could.
Since they would automatically know it was coming from right here, and who was sitting right here when it went off. Yeah. It's like, would Guy Searle pull the fire alarm if Gaz kind of goaded him into it? Yes, he would.
He might.
Yeah, he just might. You might, Rabbit. You might. Yeah. Okay. So, but now, I mean, you and pretty much everybody knows, I don't have my right eye. So when I was getting ready to fly to Chicago, this would be like the first time that I had flown since I got my prosthetic eye. And what I was worried about was the change in cabin pressure might have made it like pop out or something like that. And I really didn't want to have to deal with that. So, Mike, come on over. So what I did instead was I took it out and I wore an eye patch. Okay, he's going to be back in a little bit. But when I got to Chicago and I needed to get my rent-a-car, I realized that walking up to a rent-a-car counter with an eye patch on was probably not the best way to instill confidence in my driving abilities. So I went into the bathroom and I got out the little satchel that I keep this little case in that I had the eye in.
And the guy next to you in the bathroom thought, he's doing drugs.
Yeah. Well, the weird people were coming in, and I was having a lot of problems getting it put in because the mirror in the bathroom is much farther away than the mirror in my bathroom at home, which I'm used to using.
Mirror in the bathroom. That's a great 80s ska song.
Yeah. Well, it was either that or in the hallway where everybody could see me do it. So it was like, bathroom it is. So I'm like struggling to get my eye in, and there's people coming in and out of the bathroom all the time. And the looks on their face that I was getting as I was going through all this was priceless. But I did manage, I got it in, and I went up and I got the car and everything was fine until I got to the car and realized, now this is a 2024 Nissan Altima, brand new car. Does not have CarPlay. Can you believe in this day and age, major car manufacturer other than GM and they're idiots that doesn't have CarPlay just automatically built into the car? I was stunned.
Crazy. Well, I'll tell you what. When I went to Silverstone, I don't know, I think you saw the little Fiat 500 that I was in.
Yeah.
Hybrid, which was tiny. And by the way, have I got some stories for you, Silverstone, about my accommodation. But actually, that had CarPlay. That was fine. Just USB my phone to it, and away I went. It was great.
Yeah, CarPlay. And this is the thing. CarPlay is wonderful. It's such a great.
It is.
And let's not crap on Android Auto. They're very, very similar in how they work.
Oh yeah.
Either one of those, I would have been satisfied with in any car that I'm driving. But to not have it and having to do, jump through all kinds of hoops in order to be able to use maps, because I don't know the Chicago area. I've come here now like
been
6
there enough
times.
You should do. You should know the Chicago
I should.
area.
I should.
For heaven's sake.
But we were
Mind
going.
I've got to say.
Yeah.
That this is the first year you've been there with just one eye. So it would look a bit different.
It does. It gets kind of like, okay, I'm here. No, I'm not here. I'm here. No, I'm not here. So. But it all worked out, and I got here without too much trouble. What I did then
was he basically put one hand over one of his eyes. I'm here, I'm not here. Hand over eye, I'm here, I'm not here.
Yeah. And
I'm trying to help out.
I know, and the stupid thing was I covered up the eye that already doesn't have vision, so it made absolutely no difference whatsoever. But it has been so good to see everybody. And one of the things that I do at home, every once in a while I'm on Chuck Joyner's Mac Voices, which is a Tuesday night panel show. And Webb Bixby, who is also one of the regulars on that show, because we all kind of met up last night, and we all went out, not all of us, but a bunch of us went out to Steak Place. We got back to the hotel, and quite frankly, between traveling and everything else, I was tired, and I didn't feel like, staying up and partying. So I go back up to my room and I get a phone call, and they're, you got to come back down. Got to come back down. So I go back down, and they were handing out invitations to a breakfast buffet here at the hotel that Webb was paying for, because this hotel doesn't offer a breakfast. And it was exclusive to the people that were like regular panelists on Mac Voices. And including me, it was kind of like, wow, that's really great. I kind of couldn't believe it. And as a matter of fact, there he is right there, Webb Bixby. No, that's not. That's Cletus.
Bixby.
That's Cletus.
That's Cletus.
Come on over, Cletus.
You got to say that carefully.
Have a seat. No, I'm talking to Gaz.
Hey, Gaz.
Hi. Who
Have
the
a
hell are
seat.
you?
I'm fine. How about you?
No, he said.
Good, thank you.
He said, "Who the hell are you?"
Oh, who the hell?
Yeah, you got to get closer to the microphone.
I'm just a random stranger from Florida.
Yeah. So we and I are getting along like
that.
gangbusters.
I like that a lot. I like random strangers coming on the show.
Yeah, and just random, just random people coming up.
That's right.
So how are you finding it so far?
Me or him, or either.
Question.
Well, not you.
how are
any
you finding
question
the
now
show so
goes.
far?
Oh, I love it. I love it. It's. Last night I went to a party and I'm normally asleep by 10 o'clock. At 4 o'clock in the morning, I'm like, I have to get some sleep.
Excellent.
Now, serious, I'm sorry, I didn't understand that.
Now, you know why Siri said that she didn't understand that? Is
Why?
because she really couldn't understand the fact that he was up till 4 in the morning.
Well, yeah, if he's usually
yeah.
in bed at 10, I get that.
Yeah. But it was fun. Everybody here is fun, good people. It's good to be around Macintosh people that are loving the stuff they do.
Excellent.
And and every time that you and I, Gaz, have talked about the MacStock.
Can I jump in? Can
Yeah,
I
go ahead.
jump in? So all of these questions, I don't know how well he can hear me, but basically, is this his first? And sorry,
It's
I'm
my
saying
first time,
he.
Gaz.
What's this? Oh, you be careful. You're a virgin MacStocker. I like it. I like it. So you're from Florida. Do you do as much surfing as Guy likes to do?
I'm from Florida, and what?
Do you like surfing, or do as much
surfing.
surfing as
No,
Guy likes to do?
The waves are not the same for surfing in the part of Florida I'm at.
Where was that? Where were you from?
Okay.
Port St. Joe, Florida.
East Coast or West Coast?
Panhandle.
Oh yeah, you're not going to get any surf on the Panhandle. There's like nothing there. You're lucky. The ocean comes up, hits the land in the Panhandle, and says that's good enough.
Yeah,
we've done our job.
So it just laps up against the
Yeah.
sand.
But
Yeah.
but I can go to a beach right now, and this July, of course, and it's busy there. I can go to a beach and take my camera and turn around, and if I see 3 people, it's crowded.
Yeah,
So,
which is unusual for Florida
like it.
beaches.
yes.
Okay.
Okay, you going back
I'm
in?
going back in.
Okay.
Nice meeting you guys.
And you.
Enjoy.
Thanks, Cletus.
We will.
So that's, I mean, and this is, it's, I don't want to say it's a typical MacStock, but here's the thing. Anytime you and I have talked about MacStock, regardless of what year it was, the one thing we always harp on is the sense of community that you get while at this show with all of the people that are here. Are you still on, Gaz? You
Yeah,
still
I'm
on?
Still on.
Okay, you
I'm
blinked
still
out
here.
for a second.
Yeah, I may do that occasionally.
Okay. Well, basically, it's the sense of community that you get from a show like this, on top of all of the great topics and all of the great subjects and all of the great speakers, but just to meet up with the people and podcasters that you've spoken with in the past, or maybe you don't even know, or maybe there's a topic that you want more information on that's being spoken about here. Well, all of the people that are giving these talks, very, very accessible. Once their talk is over, you can come up and ask them a question. Probably not a good idea to do it while they're on stage, but
Unless Guy's on stage.
unless what?
Guy is on stage.
Oh yeah,
Then
you can interrupt
disturb
me
him.
for any reason whatsoever, and I'll just roll with it.
Shall I interrupt you now?
Yes.
Gaz's snippets.
Well, didn't hear the
You like the way I
theme.
did that? I did play it, so you're saying you're not hearing my theme. Let me play it again.
Okay, heard it
Did you
that
hear
time.
that?
Yes.
Right, I'll just turn it up a bit. Okay, I'm just going to... There's not many, so I'll just go through them quickly, Guy, if that's
Okay.
all right. Okay, Apple, the world's most valuable company, is first to close above 3.5 trillion market cap. So they just keep going up and 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 up. Woo, woo, woo. Now, I've got an open page here because the headline to this is, here's how long Mac users are keeping their computers. The new data looks to quantify the trend of consumers keeping their devices for longer, for the US in particular. The
Yeah.
study shows the majority of Mac customers, 56% of them, are now holding on to their laptop or desktop for 3 years or more. Now that's up 16% from 2020.
That's good.
All other life cycle lengths gave up users the 3 years or more category. Oh, that doesn't make sense. Those keeping their Mac for 2 to 3 years are down 13%. Well, that kind of makes sense because they're holding on to them for longer.
Yeah.
From 19% in 2020. Users keeping a Mac for 1 to 2 years is down from 19% to 23%, and those holding on to a Mac for less than a year decreased from 13% to 19%. I'm amazed that those people actually were
Exist.
there in the first place. Yeah, but three years or more, 56%, and that's you and I, Guy, we're kind of used to this. I mean, I've had my M1 Mac now. It must only be a year and a half, but it's probably near 2.5 years, isn't it? Let's be honest.
It's probably over 3 years at this point.
It might even be over 3 years, and it's still perfect. But we know the longevity lifespan of Macs.
Yes.
So sling that muck in there. Apparently, Apple has seen a huge jump in Mac sales. According to preliminary results from the International Data Corporation Worldwide Quarterly Personal Computing Device Tracker, Apple's Mac shipments increased a whopping, I'm going to say that again, Guy, a whopping 20.8% in the second quarter of 2024 versus Q2 2023. Brilliant. I mean, what's not to like? That's all I can say.
No, and
Apple
honestly, with Apple Intelligence coming out, when the M4 Macs start hitting the market, there'll probably be another big jump in people replacing their older, not just Intel, but M1 and M2 Macs.
I agree with you, and Apple's not hurting because my next story says Apple are now making it easier to switch from Google Photos to iCloud Photos. It just, it's just falling into their lap,
Yeah.
isn't it? Let's be honest. Apple and MLB have announced August Friday night baseball schedule. Not my thing, but if it's your thing, then great. I saw a couple of items on this next story, which is, should you get an Apple Watch for your kid? Here are all the benefits. And then I saw another one talking about Apple Watch for your kids. I think, if your kid is happy to have a watch which gives him capability to do fitness stuff and all the other stuff, it gives you a clue on where they are, keep them safe. Hey, why not?
Yeah, quite honestly, just figure out a way to fit an AirTag into their shoes without them knowing it's there.
No. This is a two-way conversation, guy. You've got to be able to talk to your kids and trust them, and they've got to be able to trust you. And there are benefits. There are benefits both sides here. Yeah, I know. But
Trust your kids. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So
Next.
I'm going to hit you with three. I'm going to hit you with three quickies here.
Okay.
Because I don't normally do these, but Apple has released the third public beta of iOS 17.6, Sonoma 14.6, and the third beta of iOS Sequoia. Two developers. So watch out, guys. It's not going to be long before it hits us. Apple shares hit a new all-time intraday and closing highs. Yeah, it rose $4.30 or 1.88% to 232.98, a new all-time closing intraday high.
Yep.
Oh, sorry, no. Today's intraday high was 233.08, but they closed on 232. They just, they can't stop going up, can they?
It's like
Question,
printing money. Yeah.
It's printed money. Okay, here's a question from a story that I saw, which is, do we really need a radically redesigned Apple Watch?
Wait, hold on just a second. Bye, OWC people. We love you.
Love you. Can I have some stuff, please? Please, come over here, please, OWC.
Yeah.
Please. Yeah.
They
So
do have good stuff.
the reason that question has been asked, and Wolf's just come in the room. Hey, Will, do you want to say hello? Come on, you know MacStock? No, he doesn't. The reason that question has probably been asked, Guy, is how old's the watch?
Oh, God.
You
8
ain't gonna-
years?
you
9
ain't-
years?
No, 10 years
Wow.
old. Absolutely. So
It seems like only yesterday
I'll ask
a
the
lot of
question
people
again.
were wasting money on a gold one that couldn't be replaced and made useful again.
So I'll ask the question again. Do we need a radically redesigned Apple Watch?
I don't think we do.
I agree with you. EU closes an antitrust investigation into Apple Pay after Apple opened up the iPhone to NFS access. We'll see how that goes moving forward.
See, they're all right now. They're like, damn it! Now we got to find some other way to find them and steal their money. Or
Yeah,
that
absolutely.
maybe,
Apple has
or maybe that's just me projecting. I don't know.
I think it's you projecting. Apple has warned iPhone users in 98 countries about mercenary spyware attacks.
Yeah.
Apple has reduced trade-in values for select iPhones, Macs, and more. Boo! Exclusive. This caught my interest. This did. Exclusive Insta360 action camera X4 bundle debuts no less, in Apple stores. This camera is taking the action cam people by storm, the 360. I'm seeing it everywhere on YouTube, so that's quite interesting that they've debuted it in Apple stores. Apparently, Apple CEO Tim Cook uses his Vision Pro every day. He did an interview with The Sun over here. Not the most salubrious of papers, but hey,
Yeah.
it's being launched in the UK, which I'll come to in a second or two. But he's been doing interviews, and I think that some of these newspapers are seeing this and going, "Wow, this is an interesting piece of equipment."
They don't understand it because, quite frankly, most people don't. But you know, if the sun is doing it, then it must be a great story.
Apple shares outperform rivals despite losses on a particular day, which was last Thursday. So, Apple shares bing, bing, bing up in the sky. Apple Vision Pro was launched in UK, Canada, France, France, Germany, and Australasia, mate. Well, it's
Australia.
not Australasia, that'd be right, because it's Australia. I am going to get so much hurt for that.
Well, see, but at least yours is better than mine. I don't know what that's really saying.
Vision Pro apps have tailed off dramatically, but some #believe. Yeah, I know. Antitrust probe in India finds Apple abused the position in the apps market. Do you know, it's like somebody opens the door and all of a sudden there's a typical British queue standing right behind you of people waiting to join in. Incredible.
With their hand out.
The US consumer lawsuit against Apple over the closed app ecosystem has been dismissed. Apple scored a legal win on Thursday. A California court dismissed a lawsuit claiming Apple restricted Apple development tools, forcing higher iPhone prices. Well done, Apple. Tim Cook and Eddie Q once again attend the Sun Valley Summer Camp for Billionaires.
Or they get surrogates to go there for them because they can afford to do that.
Well, I don't know what they're doing going to attend it. Why don't they all have, a Vision Pro and attend it?
Yeah, do it all on the Apple campus.
Absolutely.
Virtually.
Don't hold your breath for an Apple Smart Ring, Guy.
I agree.
I think Samsung. I believe Samsung have brought one out. Well,
Good
I
for
ain't
them.
wearing no ring. I ain't wearing no ring from Samsung. I can tell you that. Apple's doing a lot of this at the moment. Apple has debuted a new short film shot entirely on iPhone Pro Max. They're doing an awful lot of this, and I think
why
they're
not?
pushing it out. Well, no, absolutely. And it's getting out there, and people are realizing just the quality of production that they can stick out there
It's
with the phone that you got in your pocket.
It's almost like they do it so that people will buy more phones.
Incredible. And that
can't be it.
Is the end of Gaz's snippets. However, I do have a Gaz's link. And this one is not a very good one. Capri.
Thanks for bringing it, though.
No, I've got to because I want to shout. Capri,
Okay.
Capri, come on, Ford. That ain't even close to being a Capri. Now, did you have the Capri car in the US back in the 70s and early 80s, Guy?
Yeah, it was sold
Ford
as a
Capri.
Mercury, though. It wasn't sold as a Ford.
Okay, well, over here was the Ford Capri. My uncle had one. It was stolen 3 times. He got it back 3 times, incredibly. It was a beauty. A friend of ours had one. We sat in the back, went up to Derbyshire. The dog was sitting in the boot, licking our faces. The Ford Capri, fantastic car. They've just reinstated the Capri name on an EV, which ain't no way close to being a Capri.
Yeah, that's not a surprise.
Stop bringing back old names. Think up of new ones. Not just Ford, all of these companies.
Yes.
That's the end of my rant on Gaz's snippets.
Okay. Do you have a tip, or are we just going to kind of slide by that this week?
Quick tip. Yeah, go for the tip.
Okay.
I'm nodding my head.
Oh, you.
I'll do it.
I got it.
Hit it. Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
Mostly.
Gaz's tips.
It's time for
Gaz's tip. Quick and easy. Remember, on the Mac, in Finder, if you want to quickly preview a file, when it's highlighted in Finder, hit the space bar, et voila!
It does stuff?
I'm nodding my head.
Oh,
Hit it. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips. That's the end of Gaz's tips.
is that the end of the tip?
Will you let me finish?
Gaz, you are absolutely right.
And perfect timing. We are now joined by Mr. Mike Potter, as he's I think he's become a vampire. You know, I felt his breath on my neck.
Mike.
Yes.
Get
How
closer to
are
the
you?
microphone there, please. Thank you.
How are you, my friend?
I am absolutely sponsorific. Thank you very much.
Bonrific.
How is it? Sponsorific. Yes. Look up an English dictionary. You'll find it.
You can't get any better than that.
You can't actually. That's absolutely spot on.
Yeah, it's sponsorifically spot on.
So Mike, how is it going?
I think it's going quite well. Yeah.
There was like one little hiccup
One hiccup
this
in the
morning,
morning,
and that was it.
with the microphones, and I think we've got that ironed out.
Without my help.
We don't spend nearly as much time, setting up and getting the mics quite the way that they should be as Guy spends setting up before recording the podcast. But I think
Doesn't
we got
make
it
any difference.
mostly ironed out.
Yeah, and the
Excellent,
new venue
excellent.
looks great.
It does. Yeah. I
This
really
is
like it.
much bigger, much bigger even than McHenry.
We can certainly hold a lot more people.
Yeah.
I mean, if we needed to, we could open up all 3 rooms to
Yep.
attendees if we needed to. But yeah, I think that room by itself will hold up to 250. We've got just shy of 100 this year, so I'm pretty happy about that.
And so everything is like going really, really well. And I'm looking forward. And the weird thing is this year, I'm not doing like official podcasting. I'm not speaking. I'm not like helping behind the scenes or anything like that. So I paid this year. I paid this year to be here.
Finally.
Finally. Yeah. Mike finally gets some money out of me.
That's awesome.
And the bandwidth here sometimes is not the best. So, and a lot of people are using it also at the same time. So we're just kind of doing the best we can as we go along here. But the venue itself is great. The people that work here at the Holiday Inn at Crystal Lake, fantastic. Anything that we need, they're like right on it. So I absolutely no complaints about any of that. And it's just
From
been
Forky.
it's just been really, really good.
Yeah, it has been.
I like it. And the fact that we're actually staying in the hotel here instead of having to get up from the hotels that we've been in the past and then drive all the way to McHenry or drive downtown Woodstock.
So can I ask Mike a question?
Yeah.
Are you staying at the hotel as well, Mike?
I am, yes.
So is that the first time that you've been that close to the event once the day stuff is finished?
Yes. And not having to get up at 5 in the morning to load up the car and drive to the venue every single morning of the weekend is a blessing.
Yes. I bet you're enjoying it. Is Mrs. Mike there as well, or not? Is she keeping away? Is she?
Yes.
yeah, she's here.
As she refers to herself, Mrs. MacStock is here, and well, not right at the moment. She's off running the store.
No.
But she'll be back this evening, and then she'll be here tomorrow morning, and then back again tomorrow evening. And yeah, she's taking advantage of the pool at the hotel.
Oh, nice. Nice. Very nice.
What's not to like?
Yeah. Now, Mike, we've been getting feedback from a particular gentleman that calls himself Mr. Cheesed Off. And it just so happened, we've been talking about the MacStock Conference and Expo leading up to the actual conference.
Yeah.
And he had a few words to say
Oh.
about the MacStock Conference and Expo. And I hope you can hear this because we're kind of listening to this off my laptop. If you can, I'll play it for you later. Are you ready for this, Gaz?
I'm ready and waiting and eager.
Okay, here it is. Mr. Cheesed Off. And thank you again, Mr. Cheesed Off, for sending this in.
Hello, Guy and Gaz. Mr. Cheesed Off here. Have you heard about this MacStock nonsense in Chicago? Chicago? Why not the UK? I'd give my last dongle to be there. Typical typical Yanks never acknowledging that the rest of the world bloody exists. They're promising expert-led presentations and workshops to level up your productivity. Meanwhile, I'm stuck here trying to figure out how to just stay on the bloody level. And apparently there's also a short film festival. I've got a cracking idea. The dongle strikes back, but can I showcase my genius? Can I, cobblers? They're telling folks don't miss out. Well, I am missing out. I'm left pressing my nose against the Apple Store window while the lucky devils in Chicago get to bask in the glow of Cupertino's finest. Well, the ones that had nothing better to do this weekend anyway. It's a bloody travesty for us loyal UK Apple fans. I'd give anything to be there, soaking up the atmosphere, maybe even catching a glimpse of the next big thing. And I know I don't mean Guy, although he is big and he is a thing. But no, I'll be here, talking to Siri and pretending she flipping understands me. I don't know, it all really cheeses me off.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Cheesedoff. We appreciate your comments as usual.
I think you might have to send a copy of that to Mike so he can listen to it in cleaner surroundings and
I don't know how much you caught of that.
Aspect.
If there may at some point in the future be a MacStock UK, how about that?
Okay, well, Mr. Cheesedoff, there may be a MacStock UK eventually.
I only have so many years left, but maybe one of maybe one of these years we can make MacStock UK work.
Well, if you do a MacStock UK,
you know
I
who
will
you
go.
can rely on, Mike. You know who you can rely on, Mike, to help you out.
Okay, he's got to go. Thanks for coming on, Mike. Appreciate it.
See you guys.
See you
I'll see
soon.
Guy later. See you. We'll see you soon, guys.
You will. You will.
Okay. I don't think we really have much else going on right now, Gaz. Are you ready to kind of put this whole thing to bed?
I am. I don't want to stop you from, enjoying MacStock and the lovely people that are there and mingling. You've paid to go, so you need to be able to take in the full aspect of all that's being offered to you.
Yes. For anyone who's watching and or listening, if you would like to help contribute to the MyMac podcast, you can do so by going to patreon.com/MacPettit. You can go to ko-fi.com/MacPettit. Or you can pay a pal at paypal.me/MacParrot. And actually, there was a young lady at the airport at Reagan, and turned her on to the podcast. She actually looked it up and put it in her to listen list. And if she's listening to this, thank you so much for being so kind and wonderful. When I was not obviously, but when I was very, very nervous sitting there by myself at the airport. First time flying since all of this happened. She was very, very nice. And thank you. We appreciate the fact that you've subscribed to the podcast.
Yeah, you said thank you too much. I think I'm getting a bit concerned about just how much she helped you now. Well, let's back off.
I don't want to say. No, thank you. Thank you so much. Gaz, if people wanted to get a hold of you and say, once again, Guy is at MacStock Conference and you're not. What's up with that? How could they do that or do so?
Ever so easy. Just send an email to GazJZ at mymac.com, or you can contact me on any of this. Well, not any of the socials, but most of the socials, and you'll find me as Gazmaz. And if you can't find me as Gazmaz, send an email to GazJZ at mymac.com. You see what I did? I just repeated it now. I got it in twice.
You did.
Really, really easy. You can also contact both Guy and myself on X by going to X or Twitter or whatever it is, /Guy and Gaz, GYANDGAZ.
Cars.
You can also send an email to feedback, FWDBATK at
mymac.com.
Oh, come now.
His name was Guy.
Still is.
He's the guy.
Yeah.
Guy's the one. Guy.
Guy?
You remember Guy?
They do.
My guy?
Yeah.
Who is this guy? Who is this guy?
By being the good guy. Guy.
Who the hell even knows who this guy is?
Nobody.
I'm here with Guy. The guy.
A non-toxic guy.
If you want,
An email from Guy.
how would they do it without
No fooling.
Oh, thank you. All they would have to do is open the email client of their choice and type in.
Oh, sorry.
There we go. At mymac.com. GUI. You can leave out all the extra U's and Y's. It's just regular old GUI at mymac.com. You can find me on the X Twitters as Mac Parrot. You can also find. There we go. You can also find me over on Instagram and Threads and Pinterest and like all these different places as Vert Shark. God, what else? We have I was about to go right into the phone number, but I'm not going to. There's other ways to get a hold of me.
Hang on a minute.
I'm too
Yeah,
flustered.
no phone number.
Call 703-284-6777 for the MyMac podcast with Guy and Gaz. It's tech heaven.
Yeah.
That's 703-284-6777.
There you go.
Okay, good enough. And those are all the different ways you can get a hold of us, and we really, really do. Hello? You're going to catch me out one time. I'm going to forget. We really, really do appreciate the fact that you take the time to download and or listen to the MyMac.com podcast. And Gaz, I think that this week, everyone here at MacStock was good enough. And everyone here at MacStock was smart enough, except for, certain people. And that woof, wilf, people like us.
What is a guitar player's favorite Italian food, Guy?
I don't know.
Stromboli.
Should have known. Thanks for downloading and listening to the MyMac Podcast. You can also hear other great podcasts on the MyMac Podcasting Network, like the Tech Fan Podcast, Three Geeky Ladies, Geekiest Show Ever, the Let's Talk Podcast, Essential Apple Podcast, and the Club PlayStation and Club Nintendo Podcasts. Okay, heard that.
about. Get out of here now. Go on home and go home.